Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing World of Warcraft tips part 2. I'm going to start it off with tip number 1. Always talk in event. It doesn't matter if it's a pug raid or if you're doing like a dungeon with a party or you're doing a guild raid. You should always talk in event. If you talk in event, people will relate to you, they will talk with you, and you will get invited back to the party or the raid or anything because they will like you. They will invite you back. Tip number 2. You should always have a backup character or a backup spec with decent gear on your character, just in case if your main character is not needed for a dungeon or a raid or something. You can always have a backup. So if you're doing like a guild raid and you're a tank and you're not needed for that fight, you can come in on your alt, who's like a DPS who has decent gear. You can come on that character and DPS or heal or something instead of just sitting out completely, which is kind of boring. Tip number 3. What I do is I take screenshots of my recount DPS or healing on my good days of playing WoW. So what I mean by that is when I feel that I have done really good DPS or healing on a fight, I'll take a screenshot of my recount chart. And so when I need to apply to a guild application or something, I always have that picture handy to show them that I'm a boss, I can do shit, you know, I don't suck.
Tip number 4, I think.
When you're applying to a decent guild for PvP or raiding or something, you should you really should have both professions to 525 or close to it. Like on my mage, I'm only like 515 or something for my inscription, because you only need to be 510 to get the shoulder enchants, and that's all they care about, is that you have the things that will help you. You should always reach the Valor cap on most of your 85s. If you only have 2, reach the Valor cap on both of them, because eventually you might want to go back to the other 85 and play them, and you don't want to be at starting with greens and blues and stuff. You want to have some decent epic gear to start with, because it will just be helpful. You can start right into raids. It'll be a lot more easy than starting with dungeons and then working your way up. It'd be a lot faster. And same goes with PvP. I mean, if you don't PvP, you're just a PvE person, eventually you might want to try PvP one day. So always do the daily battleground. You get 25 conquest, you get a lot of honor if you win, and if you want to start PvP, you have pieces to start with. You're not starting from 0. You actually have somewhere to start. You're not, I mean, it's a lot easier to start somewhere, not 0. And my last tip for today is always use a mouse if you're on a laptop. For laptops, the moving keys are not very fast. That's really bad for a high-end PvP and high-end PvE. Just a mouse is a lot easier to control. A lot of guilds require laptop users to use a mouse. I mean, it doesn't matter if you use a laptop, you can. But you should be using a mouse if you expect to do extremely good in a raid or PvP. With that said, if you follow all of my rules, then you will be so boss, you will feel like dancing
The night away.
Drop it to the flow, drop it to the flow then. Now lean then. Turn around then. Turn around then. Now wiggle, 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 wiggle.